If you are tuned into this stream, you are participating in HONK United. Welcome. For the past 15 years, this weekend has been the moment when participants from the greater Boston area in the USA have enjoyed the HONK Festival of activist street bands, that raucous celebration of music and community that took Somerville, Massachusetts by storm back in 2006.
Since that original HONK, the idea has caught fire beyond anyone's wildest expectations. HONK is now a worldwide phenomenon with more than 20 HONK-related festivals on 4 continents. Until this year, all these individual HONKs have been held throughout the calendar year, forming an international network that has fostered profound artistic, political, and cultural exchanges among participating bands, local hosts and volunteers, community partners, and people gathered in the streets.
COVID-19 changed all that. Although the pandemic has made both intimate and spectacular gatherings impossible, we did not want to let a year go by without honoring and activating the HONK spirit, especially in these challenging times when it's all the more important to fight for social justice and to renew our lives with the joy of music and art.
Even though we can't all gather in one place this year, we can make a statement at the same time. The virtual space of the internet allows us to reach across time and space to be more expansive than ever before. HONK, after all, is not tied to any particular location. HONK is where you make it. It's an idea. It's a practice. It's a commitment to using the power of brass and percussion to encourage inclusionary practices, engage in participatory music making, reclaim public spaces, build community, fight for social justice, and ultimately help make the world a better place.
So, this year, we invited every HONK affiliate out there, organizers, musicians, artists, and activist partners, to contribute content to HONK United. We have also solicited a series of online workshops related to our cultural and political practices. Imagine being able to celebrate the power of brass and percussion from Boston to Benin,
Rio to Rome and Paris,
London to Wollongong,
Seattle,
New York City,
not to mention Austin,
Pittsburgh, New Orleans,
Vancouver,
Montreal,
and elsewhere, all at the same time. This is what we are offering.
Of course, we are presenting the music, both pre-recorded and live, but we also hope to tell the stories of the HONK movement from the founding of bands and festivals to the present day. We hope to capture HONK's diverse aspects and messy glory, ranging from peak moments to behind the scenes and outtakes, to capture its textures and energy.
We also ask contributors to shine a light on the ground in their communities regarding COVID, the Black Lives Matter movement, housing and economic justice, and the climate crisis. Whatever is relevant to their bands, their festivals, their organizations, their communities. Then, we invited the world to attend.
Thank you for joining us for a moving spectacle of colorful marching bands, gigantic puppets, creative bikers, jugglers, hoopers, flag twirlers, and still walkers. Joined by union activists, political organizations, and community groups. Gathering virtually from all over the world to be with each other and you. The music is in your face and out of this world, drawing inspiration from sources as diverse as klezmer, Balkan, and Romani, Brazilian samba, Afrobeat, and highlife, punk, funk, and hip-hop, as well as the New Orleans second-line tradition, and delivered with all the passion and spirit of Mardi Gras and Carnival.
Because HONK bands are loud, acoustic, and mobile, and can play anywhere they want at a moment's notice, they have no need for stages or amplifiers. They require no setups or sound checks to delay the action. They just grab their instruments and play. Continuous music, unmediated, experience directly. In the end, there is no audience, just participants.
These bands do not just play for the people, they play among the people and actively invite them to join the fun.
Sadly, due to any number of constraints, the pandemic, economic downturns, overwhelming work schedules, political upheavals, and natural disasters, not all the bands and festivals have been able to be with us today. We send them our love and appreciation and look forward to reuniting with them in the future. At the same time, we have been blessed with an outpouring of enthusiasm and creativity among the participating festivals.
Each festival, of course, has its own unique character based on its historical context, cultural traditions, and musical styles. But they are united with others through a shared commitment to practices that transcend local boundaries. It's not just the participatory music making in the street. It's also the unorthodox performance styles, the outrageous costumes, the progressive political spirit, the genuine camaraderie, and the sheer spectacle of it all. Together, we are HONK United.
Together we are united.
NYC was founded by accident. HONK NYC was founded at a dinner party in 2007 in Brooklyn, New York, between two bands, between Hungry March Band from Brooklyn and Pink Puffer's brass band from Rome. In 2008, we had another New York City honk after party. And this time, Titu Banda, also from Rome, and Environmental Encroachment from Chicago, came to New York. In 2009, we decided to get organized, and we decided we would call our festival BONK, the Brooklyn Honk Festival. And then in 2012, we kind of thought, let's ally ourselves with our mother festival in Somerville. And so we created the name HONK NYC for ourselves.
Honk first came to Ebbetsfield Middle School in fall of 2018. I had been working with HONK NYC maybe a little over a year at that point, and helping with some of the education initiatives and organizing some of the events. And there was an opportunity for a band from New Orleans, New Creations Brass Band, to come and visit my middle school where I teach. I was a brand new music teacher. I'd been teaching there for just about a year at that point, and I was really excited to bring a band to visit to give my school community an idea of what I wanted to create in a band program. So we're now in the third year at my school of our band program, and it's starting to really get off the ground, which is exciting.
HONK is comprised of people who identify as women.
Be sweet, be beautiful, be glorious, be get the people sweating and dancing and sweating till they fall over, and then they get up, and then they dance some more, and then they march in the streets, and then they vote the fuckers up. Blow your horns, girls! Blow your fucking horns!
Unlike mainstream music, all of the core decision makers of HONK are women. HONK features several women-led bands, like Hungry March Band, the Afro-Brazilian drum corps Batala, and Pussy Grabs Back.
As has been mentioned, we are Pussy Grabs Back, the band, and yeah, we believe that gender is not defined by anatomy, and super important. And yeah, of course, we're always fighting for bodily autonomy, especially in this day and age. Unfortunately, we have to, but we will. Also, some people think that queers should be seen and not heard, but we think, oh, bondage, I'm yours! 1, 2, 3, 4!
There's math and science all over in music. Your pitch is determined by how many vibrations you have in a given second. Rhythm is just fractions. We might not even know what time signatures we're performing in, but it's there. It's the underpinning of the music. It's how we stay together as musicians. We feel it in our bodies.
There are many maker fairs in the world, but the one in New York City is special because it is held in a special place, the grounds of Flushing Meadows Corona Park in Queens, which was the site of the 1939 and 1964 World's Fairs. World Maker Faire is like a giant science fair for grown-ups, with sections for education, innovation in robotics, medicine, toys, games, sustainability, and science. Much like the maker at the fair, the musicians encourage you to keep walking and discovering. This inquisitiveness and DIY culture is celebrated and needed. Science is cool, being nerdy is cool, and making, collaborating, engaging, performing, and connecting is cool. One can't imagine a World Maker Faire without the musicians and performers of HONK.
Separating the boroughs of Brooklyn and Queens, the Newtown Creek is on the one hand a natural boundary, and on the other hand it is unnatural, home to one of the largest oil spills you never heard of. Along with waste from over 1,400 known sites, 1,400 enviro vandals. In steps HONK NYC, a wholly human-powered revelry of the human experience, using lungs and muscle to blow and bang musical instruments, using sensation and spectacle to raise awareness of people and their stories, and also of our lands and waters.
First year was La Fanfare Invisible, which is the activist band from France. 2017 was your New Creations brass band from New Orleans, and Damas de Ferro, which is an all-girls band from Brazil. and then also Unidos do Swing, which is from Sao Paulo. How do you pronounce that? Well, I remember this one girl, she had like leopard print leggings, and the New Orleans one as well had a really big tuba. They all have like a really unique sound, and usually when they have a tuba, it sounds nicer, I think. Well, we all went to Truman, which is the high school next to us, because we don't have an auditorium, and nobody would be quiet, so we had to wait like 30 minutes. And then when we finally did it, everyone was so pumped, and like they invited some people to the dance floor on some of the years. That was nice.
Staten Island is known as the Forgotten Borough. It is farther away from the other boroughs, and it is just different. It is 75% white and very working class. HONK has always made sure to include Staten Island and has made it a big focus of its work since 2008.
Okay, so now I feel like I opened the door and I said, please, don't worry about time, relax, enjoy, but now I have to be American. For a minute I was being Italian. In 45 minutes, we need to play.
Unidos do swing! Unidos do swing! Vai lá, vai lá! Swing, swing! Swinging! Swing! Vamos! Swing, swing!
HONK NYC always has a school visit, first with the Staten Island Charter School, and then 3 years at Our Lady of Good Counsel School. One thing about Staten Island that is unique is that even though we can see Manhattan from its shores, it can be an isolated place, with one newspaper and a real lack of exposure to people outside of one's own bubble.
Do you know which country we are? Who knows?
South America.
South America. It's something like that, but that's not exactly a country. It's a country. Brazil! That's right.
Portuguese is our native language, and this music that we just played right here in front of you, it's called samba.
HONK's partnership with Maker Park Radio has been one that shares a like mission, so HONK Fest would not be complete without a stop at the station.
Unidos do Swing is is a collective, yes, and we do always open weekly rehearsals in the street in São Paulo. We are a touring band, learning, teaching, mixing the cultures, and we have a lot to teach about the Brazilian music, and we have some things to learn from the traditional American music, from the New Orleans music, through the HONK festivals, to the communities culture here, and the urban culture here too.
It makes me really happy that you make the effort to come here and bring this to our city. Even though we're a city of a lot of distractions and a lot of things, we're really super lucky to have you guys here. Really, and especially at Maker Park Radio.
HONK brings the bands to Staten Island because they believe that art teaches empathy, and exposure to people outside of one's own comfort zone helps one see the commonality we have with each other.
HONK Camp is all about making instruments and hats, making rhythm and song, and making friends.
I make the question, pagadagada, pagadagada, pam pam. Only two notes. Pagadagada, 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 pagadagada.
The summer camp was just amazing, and just see how the kids were so excited to learn and sing the Brazilian songs.
Sabito ka tambor. Sabito ka tambor. Nice. Sabito ka tambor. All right, let's sing it one more time. We ready? I want to hear your strongest singing voices. Todo menino do pelor. Todo menino do pelor. Sabe tocar tambor. Sabe tocar tambor. Wherever we may go.
The children end their week of camp with a performance for their parents and the instruments they have made and a newfound love of parading.
samba, kids, happiness, like joy, love, I think it's all connected.
HONK NYC has partnered with ETG Cafe since 2008. Together, we bring a little bit of magic to Bay Street and neighboring Tompkinsville Park. Tompkinsville Park sits at the crossroads of Staten Island. Adjacent to the waterfront, the park is a hub for all walks of life. In 2014, Staten Island resident Eric Garner was murdered by the NYPD just across the street. HONK NYC has since allied with local groups to bring rebirth and recovery to the area.
I mean, you lit up Tompkinsville Park, so thank you so much. We're part of Friends of Tompkinsville Park, really trying to work on rejuvenating our park. We just love this park, we love this community so much. So we thank you so much. That was really special. You were awesome!
ETG's neighbor is Against a Green barbershop, owned by the rap group Wu-Tang Clan, Staten's most famous export. This year, we are honored to bring Black Fire Percussion to celebrate the end of a 12-mile walk in commemoration of Sandy Ground, the oldest continuously inhabited settlement of free blacks in the United States. Staten Island is the little borough that could. It is only fitting that Honk blossomed from a borough that is tough and resilient but beautiful. When unlikely connections are made, places are activated, people are moved to participate, and minds are opened, it gives Honk NYC hope in the future. Because if change can happen here, it can happen anywhere.
The Dutch built a wall here to protect themselves from the Native Americans. Later, this was the site of New York's first slave market. In 2008, mishandling of subprime mortgages led to the biggest stock market crash since the Great Depression. This was when Honk NYC invited Titu Banda from Rome to play on the steps of the New York Stock Exchange. Collect Pond was once the main source of fresh water on the island of Manhattan. In 1811, the pond was so polluted it was drained and filled in, creating a muddy, sinking neighborhood that became one of the worst slums in New York. In the early 1900s, the slum buildings were cleared and the courthouses of Foley Square were built. In 2020, Honk NYC paraded through Foley Square for the 4th Women's March against Donald Trump. gardens were once rubble-strewn heaps. HONK NYC teams up with more gardens to celebrate and bring attention to this collectively created garden district of New York City.
Garden Parade is the perfect coming together of music from all over the world celebrating community gardens in the quest for permanence and justice.
The parade always ends at Tompkins Square Park, where hundreds of people protesting gentrification clashed with police in 1988.
In the Valley of the Giants, between office buildings, tourist traps, and vestiges of brutalism and minimalism, Honk New York City brings its disruptive, joyful DIY spirit. Ah, Harlem conjures up the 1920s when Langston Hughes wrote about a dream deferred and Duke Ellington played the Cotton Club. In Harlem, the bands of Honk NYC march on the same streets as the legends of the past, but we also look ahead to inspiring the musicians of the future.
And our level of what we do is like just showing that music is a way that you can have fun. Music is a way that you can use as an outlet. When you practice at home, it'll do exactly what you want to do. And we try to install that into the kids.
The Shrine World Music Venue is one place where the rich cultural legacy of Harlem is honored and continued.